Over the last 6 episodes, we completed an epic 3,000-mile road trip around Europe, from Newcastle to Amsterdam, with a little scenic detour via Switzerland, Venice, Croatia and Prague. As well as myself, David, the geography expert and filmmaker of the trip, there was Badger, head of hospitality, Jamie, main driver, Ethan, co-pilot, and Win, who basically just got to live life as a dog for 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks, it was actually 16 days, but was that enough time to experience everything we planned, and was it worth it? If you're limited with time and money, but you want to do something like this yourself, here's everything you need to know. Hello and welcome to the second part of the Aftershow, where we are going to... I'll let you stop fucking filming.
See, you reached it.
Getting cozy with
I don't have it.
Getting cozy with Rosie.
Cozy with Rosie.
Where we're going to delve into every aspect about the trip. So this will basically be the most informational part if you're actually looking at doing this trip yourself.
Don't.
So... Oh no, I would recommend for someone to do it. I mean, so the cost of it in total was around about £2,250 per person. A little bit more because we lost our breakage deposit for the motorhome. But yeah, it was about £2,250 per person, which for what we did is really, really good, I think.
It's not bad.
Considering
It's not bad.
you might pay that to go to the Caribbean for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That's true.
I mean, the Caribbean's lovely, but you're in the same place, you know. Whereas we did 13 countries.
We didn't leave ourselves much time for it, though.
Well, we're gonna get to that. Firstly, do we want to kind of go through all of the costs of it?
Rapid fire, quick rundown.
Okay,
So you got it all written down.
The motorhome was about it's just over £4,000. Mainly, it was a bit more expensive, mainly because we're all
under 25 at the time.
The two drivers.
Yeah, yous were obviously under 25, so we
really
had to
fucked that
have
one.
young driver
We
insurance.
still are.
Things like fuel, food, everything like that along the trip, that all came to about £1,250 per person.
Most of which was fuel.
Over 16 days. But obviously you've got to take into account that we stayed in a really, really nice 5-star hotel.
We did.
And we spent quite a lot in Venice.
We did.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think you've got to watch the GDP of places. Like, can you remember in Liechtenstein when you paid 80 quid for 4 McDonald's?
Oh my god.
It was in
Yeah.
Swiss franc, wasn't it?
We didn't know what it was, and then
expect.
like it came up in Monzo because Monzo converts it straight away for you. And like 80 quid.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried at first because I was like, oh, I'll convert it. It'll be like 40 quid.
Yeah.
And then the number didn't change. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like the countries that are more well developed are gonna be more expensive, and the countries that are kind of slightly, I mean, all the countries in Europe are well developed, but like the ones that have like
rich.
insane, like Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, they're going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Switzerland's going to be more
It's
expensive.
like the 1%.
And then obviously like Croatia, Slovenia, a bit more cheaper.
Yeah.
But on top of all that, there are specific things that you need for travelling in Europe, like vignettes, which are basically toll passes. So we had to have them for Switzerland, Slovenia, and I believe Austria and the Czech Republic. It does say it in the video, there's the little cards, but they were generally about maybe 20 to 30 pounds per one, but they do last for quite a while. It's better for if you're going to spend longer travelling there, but yeah, they do last for quite a while. But obviously if you don't have them, then you're liable for fines. In Italy, there's like payable tolls, so like cash tolls.
There's
where
a
you'll
lot
just,
of tolls.
Yeah. But in like France, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, there's nothing really. Like you don't have Netherlands, you don't have to. There's not really any tolls. It's a bit like this country.
I'd say watch out for the vignettes that you don't expect as well. Like we didn't know until we went there that you had to pay €9 to go rafting in Slovenia.
Oh yeah.
So watch out for like rivers and all
Yeah,
that.
there's a like ticket
that we had to
Like a
purchase,
tax
like a
or
pass.
charge or something.
Yeah, and then you get tourist tax as well. But generally, all those sorts of things aren't very much. The permit that we got that we had to get for the ticket for the river to
It was like €3.
to raft in Slovenia, that was not. Yeah, that was pretty
You
cheap.
did have to register.
Do your research.
Yeah, need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because people will try and take your money in every possible.
Oh,
scenario.
bloody hell, yeah.
Yeah, like with the police in Slovenia.
And if you can't negotiate because you don't speak the language, you're gonna be paying a lot of money.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think the language along the trip was actually fine. Really, there wasn't many people which didn't speak English. So I mean that was all right, but obviously like some of the signs aren't in English. Like in Slovenia, when we ended up getting fined, all the signs that told you that you couldn't drive down that
Blame it
road
on the
weren't obviously
Blame it on the side.
in any kind of English or a UK version like you would expect to see on the signs here. So you do need to research into stuff like that.
Or just really double down on the I am foreign here. I don't understand. Please be nice
So
to
when
me.
you turn around and go, I'm going to blame on the fact that we've got an English rep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think that would
The
be
other
all
things that you'll need to add in terms of costs if you're going to do a trip like this is you'll obviously want mobile phone data, travel insurance, stuff like that. The free Wi-Fi that we got with the motorhome, that actually stopped after we got outside of the UK.
Yeah, that was
So after that, we basically
£30
just...
well spent.
Yeah, because the company didn't have a SIM for that Wi-Fi router for Europe, so after
That's insane.
that we're just having to rely on our data, which you can still get, even though we're out of the EU. You can just purchase data for the whole of the EU. You can just list the countries that you go into, and it's not that expensive.
I was going to say, I will say, because
It's just a bit of a fuck on, really.
most broadbands, I'd say, like, mine's completely free wherever we're in the EU.
Oh, is it?
Yous were all using my data, I will say, which is
Oh,
why
yeah.
my phone died so
Well,
much.
so who are you with?
Virgin Media.
Oh, right, yeah, they're the ones that are apparently still free.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like
Also-
covered for it.
EE aren't.
Get yourself a Monzo account.
Yes.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Shout out to Monzo.
So with Monzo, I mean, this is going to sound like a sponsor now, which it's not,
Please,
because we have 400 subscribers at the minute.
please Monzo. Please sponsor us.
Please.
You can basically pay without an exchange rate transaction fee. So you can put obviously your money onto that card, which will be in pounds, but then you can tap that card in Italy, in France, in Germany, and you're not going to get that transaction fee for it exchanging it into that currency, basically.
And it naturally converts.
And I think it's the same at cash points, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
take it out, it
Yeah.
should be.
It is, yeah. There is a limit to that one on the free account. You
Yeah.
get like 250 quid. You
And
can
then-
take out.
And of course, there's the whole group thing that we end up using, which came in very handy. Of
Exactly.
Splitting money.
Yeah.
Not
One-
an ad again, but
one-
just helpful.
One thing that
Sponsor
people
us.
ask quite often when they do trips like this is, how was it driving abroad? You know, was it busy?
Well, one thing I will say that you immediately need to know, if you've got an English car, and if you're driving across somewhere, just remember, it's in kilometres per hour, not miles.
So,
Also, they drive on the other side of
so
the road.
yeah,
That's a big one to remember.
Driving, because we had a motorhome that was obviously on the English side, but then
Yeah,
we're
it was
driving
the
it abroad,
worst
it was
possible combination.
it's a bit weird.
But no, as like I said, I mean, like after a day or so, you get in the swing of it. It's the same thing, just a bit different.
yeah.
And
Honestly.
we did it in June. I personally thought that places were quite quiet.
Yeah,
I expected
Yeah.
them to be busier.
obviously there were certain places that are always going to be busy. You know,
Yeah.
like up the mountains and the. But even you know going through the Alps and like those kind of roads. I mean, I'm very glad they were very empty.
Oh, Lake Tovel was. We basically had that to
Oh.
ourselves.
That was
That's
incredible.
because we weren't going to be there that late, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
well, that
there
was
was a woman
actually
in the morning.
that was actually another place where we nearly got fined.
Yeah, we
because
almost
there was
did.
I think she was a French exchange student.
Yeah, she was like, if you
She
go
wasn't.
now,
She
we'll
wasn't
go.
Italian. She came and she was like, You say need to leave. Well, no, that was an Italian accent. Sorry, that was meant to be a French accent.
Why is your French-Italian accent so sexy?
She was like,
She has social
"Oh no,
anxiety
you
as well.
need to leave." So yeah,
that's
we
a bit close.
managed to avoid that one.
One thing that I think that we
60
couldn't have
bucks,
paid
huh?
for, but it couldn't have been any better, was the weather. I think wherever we were, the weather was perfect for that. Like in the morning when you woke up and you didn't know that mountain was there, and you were
Oh my god.
But
Seriously, that was a genuine reaction, by the way.
Yeah.
But even the
I was
extremes
wondering.
of the weather, like even when it was like
lashing down.
flashing down and like thunderstorms,
Yeah.
it
It
just added
seemed
to it.
to-
It was so
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it
was
seemed to
fantastic.
do that later on in the day, and then in the morning it would.
Like
In the
fresh
first half of the
vibe.
day, it would be fresh and nicer and clear and everything.
But also,
And it
when
got
it's like
angry later
35
on.
degrees, a bit of fucking rain is quite
Mm.
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was quieter than what I thought. I think in this country it's quite densely populated, and loads of people go up the Highlands. So when we went over there, you know, it's
Peaceful.
a bit more sparse over there in some places. So it actually was a bit quieter than what we're used to here in the UK. So it was alright. The busiest place was Tre Chime, I think, the Dolomite. There was actually a drone shot that I got where there was the exact same motorhome as ours behind. It looks like GTA, you know, when you get the same cars spawning.
Oh yeah.
There's the exact same motorhome behind our one in the drone shot. Obviously, there was a few problems when we were driving through like a little village, and then we met a bigger oncoming vehicle, like a truck. There's a couple of times when like I'd cut out stuff like that.
Funny
yeah.
enough, tiny little remote villages that were built hundreds of years ago don't accommodate 6 berth RVs.
I thought our map would have not taken us there because wasn't the map's not programmed for the motorhome.
It took us on the prettiest route, just not the
Yeah.
safest.
Bloody hell, that took us through small streets.
Well, the app
No.
Copilot, that's meant to do that, but you got to pay for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we
so
use
there are
Google
other
Maps.
there
Cheap as
are
fuck,
other
so that wasn't gonna
apps.
happen.
Like if you're gonna do it, I would make sure that you. I didn't.
Park for Night,
Yeah.
that definitely is a good one.
Park,
was a
so
good
park, park for night is
Fantastic.
Park for Night is good when you want to find campsites and things to stay for the night.
Yeah.
You've got
Flush.
yeah.
Flush is a good one.
I don't know what that is.
Shout.
Neither do I.
So Flush is basically an app where it tells you where the nearest public toilet is, no matter
Yeah.
where you are. in the
You've
world.
got Shower Plus, which is that, but
Yeah,
for showers.
I mean these are.
It's not cat food.
So yeah, there's loads of good apps like that. In terms of if you're driving and you want to program an app to register your size of vehicle
Yeah.
for on those roads,
I'm sure that's Copilot that does that one, but we
Yeah.
didn't use that because you got to pay it quite a bit for that. But obviously, if you're
yeah.
doing it once, then just get the free trial for a month, and then you'll be fine.
So I would recommend looking at that to make sure that the app knows what the size of your vehicle is, like Google Maps, so that it's not going to take
It'll
you
make
down
it
a
like
road that.
a lot easier.
Yeah. In terms of our route
For
that we
content.
did, moving on to that and the planning of that actually started, me and you started planning that in 2020 during the pandemic.
Yeah, and that took a long.
To be fair, I
Wait.
think we started planning that in high school.
Well, probably
We planned this for
we'd had
years.
dreams of doing it for ages, but it really kind of started developing in 2020. I actually felt like I did the trip partly in summer 2020 because I did so much research and I looked at every single place that or most of the places that we went to, but it was a slightly different route back then, so we actually had it the other way round. So we went to Amsterdam first, and then went down to Prague, and then I think Budapest was actually included in one of the versions of it as well.
Yeah, but I was like,
But
But there was
was
several different reworks of that entire route.
You what?
There was several reworks of that.
Yeah, there
Even
was.
like
yeah.
last minute ones, just based off
Yeah.
obviously like time and schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
like that,
we
so.
were trying the pyramids of Platinum. That was the one.
Well, there was a few. So there was a few places that the overall route was 54 hours, 3,000 miles, and we were trying to do that over 16 days, 16,
we were already
17
spreading
days.
it thin.
It was.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially in groups that I'm in online, they'll be like, no, you've only got time to do 1 or 2 countries in that time. We did 13 countries, over 16 days, which is a lot. I think that it was just enough, to be able to see things properly, but there there was things along there that we had to cut out. I'll put, by the way, obviously I'll have a map of the route alongside this so you can see where we went. Obviously we ended up going from Newcastle down into France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Croatia, Slovenia,
Keep going.
Austria,
Go on.
Czech Republic. I've probably missed out Liechtenstein, I think. And then back across Germany after the Czech Republic to the Netherlands.
Hey, that was good.
It was so many countries. So yeah, you'll be able to see the route that we did. There were a few things that we did just end up having to cut out. There was a museum that we were going to visit in Germany that had the war vehicles and the aeroplanes and stuff.
Discontinued stuff.
That had to be cut out.
It's fine because we went to a shit water park and stuff.
We were going to go to a different water park. I'm sure we were going to go.
Yeah, we'd looked at doing a water park in Switzerland, I think. Verona, when we passed Verona on the way down to Venice, we'd thought, we might stop for lunch there and spend like a couple of hours there.
Oh,
we didn't have time. Potentially we were gonna. It was quicker on the motorway, but we were potentially gonna pass Lake Garda.
Lake Garda, I think it was.
Yeah. And then we're potentially gonna stop in Verona as well. But to be honest, I don't regret doing that because Venice is obviously going to be quite similar.
Yeah, it would have taken away, I think.
Yeah.
Because we would have been forced to have less time. I think it worked out for the best.
Yeah, and it would have been two very similar things in the video as well.
It would be good for a drone shot.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
I mean, likewise, there's a really good place in Croatia that we passed on the way down to Pula. I'll put the name of it on screen because I can't remember the name, but that's really, really nice as well. Possibly even nicer than Pula. But the reason why we went to Pula was because it was different from where we'd been previously, because it had like the amphitheatre.
I do wish we'd stopped off at that. To be
they
fair.
actually played a football match there the other day.
I saw that, yeah, the photo with so they played a football match in the amphitheatre.
No.
Wow. Yeah, we should have stopped and looked at that, but there was problems with parking with motorhomes. I think that was the trickiest thing with the motorhome.
I think we were already
parking it in urban
rush.
areas.
It was a stressy situation.
Yeah, and we're already in a rush anyway.
It was getting late.
So and then the other thing that had to be cut out was the pyramids of Platon, like you were going to mention before.
He was very excited for the pyramid.
He was very excited for them. They're not pyramids though.
They're not.
They sound better than what they actually are.
You're bigging it up.
They're like, what are them things called in caves?
Stalactites.
Yeah.
Or stalagmites.
They're like them, but they're the other way round and they're outside. So they go up from the ground,
they look
basically.
really good, but that's when we got to the hotel. It was like...
I wasn't leaving that fucking hotel.
It was only like a 45-minute drive, but then it would have been another 45-minute drive to come back, which would have been less time in the hotel, which I suppose is kind of worth it. However...
We deserved a good pampering.
No. The biggest regret was that campsite that I couldn't get us on.
Which one?
And I don't know if you can remember that.
At Sexton.
Oh,
yeah.
the one with the fire.
Luxury one that I found.
I remember you showing me.
It was still really good, but that one that I found was
we didn't book it for far enough in advance.
Yeah, we didn't know if we were going to make it.
And then we obviously found
the wine from the big flutes and all that.
Yeah.
There's loads of nice hotels
but we
around
had that
area.
amazing campsite in Switzerland.
Round where we stayed
That was a good one, though.
Round where we stayed at that hotel on the campsite in Switzerland.
I just wish I'd done that zip line as well as the toboggan.
Yeah.
Because that looked insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would have been.
But
insane.
yeah, the in the Dolomites and that sort of area, so many nice hotels. Like the one that we stayed at, it was nice, but it's by no means like the best there. There are so many nice ones there.
I wasn't complaining.
I would absolutely do that even if you have paid for a motorhome. Like absolutely have a night in a hotel as well.
I think you need it.
Yeah, well we did.
We fucking definitely did.
We absolutely needed it. Yeah, and the other thing that we had to cut out was the abandoned Nazi Soviet base after the water park.
Yeah.
But I sort of didn't want to do that because we had already gotten in trouble with the police already, so didn't want to risk it. But that, I did sort of show some clips of that in the video, in the episode. We were meant to go there as well. One thing that I wanted to mention is that I only found this out like afterwards when I was kind of tracing the route back and doing the maps and stuff like that. The place that we stopped at in Luxembourg, which was at the very end of Luxembourg, just before you come into Germany, and it was also just across the border from France. That point there where they all meet, in the town where we went to the service station in Luxembourg, that's the town of Schengen, which is, have you heard of the Schengen area in Europe? So the Schengen area in Europe is basically how we were able to do that trip so easily, because it's open borders. Apart from Switzerland that wasn't in the EU, everything else was, and they were in the Schengen area. So like Germany, France, Netherlands, Luxembourg all agreed in the 80s to form the Schengen area. So since then it's all been open borders, and we actually stopped in that town where they agreed. That's why it's called. That's why it's called Schengen after that town.
It's so fucking expensive to buy.
Probably. It was a place where we went into the really nice air-conditioned shop, and we left them two when it was 36 degrees in the van.
Oh.
And then we came out and we told you, it was horrible in there. It was so hot and sweaty and boring.
You did.
But yeah, we needed getting back to the hotels. We did need that along the way, because there was quite a lot which went wrong along the way, which is the part that everyone's probably been waiting for, like all of the drama, all of the other things, like I mean, we had we overflowed the motorhome.
Current update, people. We flooded the motorhome.
Whole fucking thing's leaking.
What?
Turn the tap on.
We flooded it.
We flooded the motorhome. When
In fairness,
I'll take responsibility for that. I didn't actually know that was a feature.
It wasn't
that
it wasn't our
reading,
fault.
That because the whole thing, right? So there was the grey water that overflowed, right? Not the fresh.
No.
That was the fresh water.
So the grey water, like, you know when it's gonna like get full, and we obviously didn't get it to 100%, and we emptied it out. Whereas the fresh water, we were like, let's take on as much as we can.
Yeah.
So we got it to 100%, and then as it hit 100%, the seats, like underneath the seats, there was just little puddles of water, and they just kept expanding and expanding. Yeah. It wasn't on film.
The fact that
it wasn't really on film at all.
The fact that we were parked on a hill was not the smartest move.
Yeah.
It is a shame none of that got captured, because it was just a moment of everything's fine, and then what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It was just like an inch of water, and it's like,
I will say this
how have we flooded a fucking motorhome? How?
Well, no, my question is, how the hell was there not a cap on it?
Oh, I don't.
Like, what? You made a water tank without a cap on it? So
there was a lot of things about that motorhome that were just badly designed.
Yeah.
I love this thing, right? But there's so many flaws with this thing.
There was so
the
much.
windows. The windows, they kept breaking and not
death
coming down.
The crevices, I've lost a few things.
Oh, next to the window. And
your fucking bed.
Oh yeah, the bed.
That fucking window things on the tops. When I get them, remember when you had to like pull them back?
Oh fucking hell, yeah.
You know what? It was charming.
We had a collection of springs and bolts at the end of it. They just came off of things.
And then your dad came with a screwdriver. Right, David, I'm gonna fix this for you.
To try it
back, and we still lost the ground.
I know. Yeah, I got my dad to fix all them so that we could get the breakage deposit back. And then we ended up losing it anyway because of the awning that didn't quite fit back in properly.
Insane.
I have got some clips of that actually when me and my dad tried to look at that. So
I think we broke 3 window handles. I think 3 window handles just came off.
The funny thing as
well
is that it wasn't like they just like snap. It's like actually you press the button and it would actually explode.
It was violent.
Yeah.
Bang! Oh lads, we lost another one.
So basically the motorhome I would say was good overall,
Yeah.
but there was a couple of shoddy things with the design.
We definitely abused it, let's be real.
No, I don't think we did.
No, I think we might have.
We used it for a very long trek.
It's expected with 5 lads, isn't it? Really, that it's gonna. It was a massive journey for it to do. There was 5 people in it.
The shower was useless.
Oh!
Did anyone use the shower?
I
did.
used it.
He used it
I
once.
never
though.
used
That
the shower.
isn't in the video, but I used the shower once.
It looked cool.
It was
It
very
looked cool.
very cool. It was freezing.
It was the hot water, wasn't it? There wasn't. So it,
It wasn't working.
And then the fridge wasn't working as well.
Mm.
The other thing was the smell that developed about just over halfway through the trip,
Oh.
which was the
that was just
drains.
him.
No,
That
it
was
was
him.
it was something to do with the drains, as it wouldn't go, and we think it was because
It was the gravy went down the sink.
you put gravy down the sink with it.
And obviously, if you can imagine, the thin pipes anyway, but on a motorhome it's going to be even thinner.
Yep.
And when gravy is left to go cold, it
Coagulates.
congeals.
Okay.
So nothing would go down. So luckily I actually had a hand plunger. I was thinking the thing like that, didn't work. So then luckily Tesco arrived and we got some bleach. And it smelled like ocean fresh.
Oh yeah, when we
That's
finally
actually
went
right.
to, when we finally went to Tesco.
Just in general, wind should not be allowed near food substances, sinks. Need I say more? The fucking aerosol.
But that bleach,
Jesus Christ.
I know, that bleach was hard to find though, because we went into Hofer. We went into Hofer, which is Austria's version of Aldi. And then you were using your phone thing to scan round. And it was coming up with like weird thing. I bought some baguette thing. And it pizza slice thing, and it came up saying it was
Can you tell me what I've just bought in here? Because I actually don't know. It's some kind of pizza pasty thing. The pizza Wurkel, yeah. No, that one.
Oh, that one. It's a vegetarian pizza alarm clock.
Vegetarian pizza alarm clock. What?
Yeah. Vegetarian pizza
rolls. Pizza rolls.
I made it a mission of mine to sample as many milkshakes in as many different countries as possible. I can't remember which lay-by it was, where I just bought like every single flavour of one of them and then drank 4, and I was like, I feel awful. Someone take this away from me.
The best one is definitely when you tell Win to go into the cafe and go, Win's get his nice coffee.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I've ever drank in my entire life.
Brilliant.
Carbonated, sparkling coffee. And it tasted as bad as it sounds.
Oh, there was a language issue with
the water.
we kept buying sparkling water
Oh
because we thought it was still.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The amount of sparkling water we
So what you need to do is you need to use this app that was on your phone to translate things to make sure that like Google will
It's
translate
still
it
water.
for you
I love how petty
on
it was.
screen.
It got to the point where it was just like, we have 6 gallons of sparkling water. I would rather die of dehydration than drink that shit.
So along with all that, with the motorhome, we were then having to live with ourselves as well, like with each other, which I'm sure. I mean,
Rough.
Molly asked the question: how was it actually living in a confined space for so long?
I'm sure loads of people want to know this.
When you go first?
Well, all I'll say is at one point, before the road trip and all that, we'd come up with the idea of, right, we should move into a house together for 6 months. And all I'll say is, this trip proved that would have been the worst fucking idea we've ever had.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell on camera, but everyone hates each other now.
No, we don't. We're just we've spent 2 weeks together, so it'll be nice
It would be nice to get out. Yeah.
I think I'm just broken down at the lack of common sense that I thought that everyone had.
Yeah, but we're idiots.
And now there's being idiots, but then there's literally just like, if something's wrong, it's like, Badger, how do I do this? Badger, how do I do that? Well,
Yeah, 'cause
hang on. What's the solution, Badger? Badger's the only one that's got a solution to anything. And getting that from 4 lads over 16 days kind of takes its toll.
Yeah, but you're
towards the
cocky,
end.
and you seem to think that you know everything, so that's why we asked you.
That's a very good point.
You're the head of hospitality and knowledge of the motorhome and camping in general, so you get all the
Which
questions.
I understand that, but with basic tasks, like literally the most basic of things,
I can say a lot, but I'm not going to.
cannot be complete without a question. It's just impossible.
Yeah, but that just proves that we're all idiots, and we've done this
at an age that a lot of other people probably wouldn't.
Yeah?
We're a bit too young for this. We struggle to even get insurance on the motorhome.
Yeah, it's technically not.
We're like 23, 24. You know,
Yeah,
like it's a
normally
very
25.
young age to do it. We don't have a lot of knowledge. We're all quite still naive. Do you know what I mean?
True that.
So to have done this at our age really is a massive achievement, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's been amazing. I will remember
Wynn's
it.
so sick of everyone that he's just got his earplugs in and he's not even listening. You cooking was funny, like half the time. Trying to cook in there, you got so pissed
You got pissed off. You're like, everyone, fuck off!
Austria, for that, was my breaking point with you bunch of fuckers. Right? Honest to God, right? We weren't in Austria for very long at this point. And we went to the campsite, and then you were all complaining about how the guy was proper arrogant and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, he was very angry.
And I didn't even see the guy, but I would have told him what I thought at that point. And I was trying to cook something, and I was like, I'm going to do a nice meal, we're all going to have the same thing, all that kind of stuff. Right. And then it was really hot, really stuffy. Nobody went, I'm going to open a window for Badger here because he's sweating over the fucking stove. And then you all wanted to be in the motorhome around the area where I was, just randomly. Like you were in the bathroom with the door open, just stood there. And then Wynn was just in the middle next to where the tables were, just randomly getting the stuff down. And then you were pissing about as well, kept being in and out and opening the fly thingy. And flies fucking around all over my head. I was like, he's just fuck off!
I remember, but just watching that unfold, just like
I was just like, you, and fucking you, out!
I think for me was the route, because although at the start of the whole thing it kind of appears like Badger came up with the route, it was actually mainly me, so I was mainly in charge of keeping everyone on time, making sure we're on schedule, because everything was
the best of your ability.
It was so finely down to the hour really, because we crammed so much in.
I've never seen you more stressed.
Well, so the time, and I know this you's absolutely found this a crease. I will remind you of it in case you've forgotten it. Was on the third day when it was 36 degrees and we're driving through Germany, and I'd just done my German intro and I had the Lederhausen on. I'd already done the Luxembourg intro and everything like that. It was all a bit overwhelming, to be honest, and I was just wanting to get down to Switzerland as quick as possible. And at one point I just lost it, and I just had a hissy fit in the Lederhausen in the back of the motorhome.
It's hard to take anyone seriously in a Lederhausen.
I think it was because people had left rubbish out. So there was a plastic bottle. There was a plastic bottle, and I was kicking. I was like,
You were stomping on it, you were fucking going for it.
I was smashing this plastic bottle and kicking it around, because that was the best way that I could take my anger out without having to go at yous without hurting the motorhome. I was like, I'm going to take it out on this plastic bottle that someone hasn't put in the fucking bin.
I've never seen before that.
But once I've got that out of me, it's fine. Like, it doesn't cause an argument with people. No one's like holding anything against each other. So it wasn't bad, but yeah, for me, I was just mainly stressed out with the route and getting to places. And then there was the times when like you would just be a general just arse because you were just wanting to just piss me off or have a bit of a laugh.
No,
not there.
the one that's got the pipe on the end
It
of it.
goes in the van, David.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Have you got it at work?
He's pissed
What
himself.
happened? Did water come out the end?
Like there was the time obviously when I was trying to empty out the waste disposal when I had to get on the ferry, like we had to make that ferry, and like we didn't know where we're emptying out the waste disposal, even though we're parked literally right on it.
And I had the biggest shit of my life the day before, after saying nobody's shit in the motorhome, and you took the sign down as well, which is brilliant.
And then there was the time before that when we're at another service.
So if it's heads,
I'm not doing it.
yeah, and if it's tails, you're not doing it.
It was either me or Ethan. We'd flipped a coin, and it was Ethan that had emptied out the waste. But then you asked me
Heads.
to top up the water, and I was like, okay, can I have the key to open the water? like the you know
I know
cap.
exactly where
the
he's
cap
going
to get the water off. So play Where Are the Keys? So Ethan, you can see you've got the keys. You can literally see on the shot you had the keys there.
I don't have them.
I don't have either.
Where's the keys?
I don't have the keys.
Where's the keys?
David needs the keys.
I gave one of you the keys.
You can give me the keys. Empty in the shirt. I don't know what the fuck. Who's got the keys? When?
You were just driving it.
I know, and I just gave the keys.
You got the keys? Oh. Oh, cheers, Ben. Thank you, son. Thank you. Alright, I don't need all of them. Fucking hell.
Can someone just...
Ow. Fucking sick.
I genuinely gave the keys away, David.
I don't have the keys.
This just goes on.
Who's got the keys?
And I'm like, what's funny about it?
I think I remember being pissed off at this moment as well, but I can't remember why.
Because no one answers the first fucking time.
I haven't answered because I don't have them.
Right?
I gave you the keys, man.
You got the keys? Doesn't look like I've got the fucking keys. I ain't got the keys.
This does just sum up the relationship in the final few days.
Yeah, the
It's
final
just-
few days.
We haven't lost the keys because you were literally just driving the van.
Jamie,
I
where's
know.
the keys?
I just gave the fucking keys to use.
Yeah, it was funny at first, but...
Someone's just messing
I
around.
know, it's just
here.
annoying.
Where's the keys?
Stop fucking messing around. Give us the keys. I don't even say how this is funny either. All it is me saying. Give
You
us
like
the keys.
pranking until it's done to you, and then you give no reaction at all because you're just like,
I know, but it's not. It's
Why
it's
are
not.
people just
It's
fucking
not a very
standing
good
there?
prank
Because Ethan's
for
got the
camera.
keys.
Because it just goes. It just like.
even in general.
Oh,
I ain't got the
so
keys.
I
funny.
shouldn't laugh at pranks.
Get the keys. Open up. They're up there. Where? See them? Oh, Spence.
Keys.
I don't see what's funny about that. Like, I don't even see why it's worth filming. I don't even see why it's worth filming.
Is the water in yet?
That's why it's worth filming.
It's worth filming because he took us to a shit waterfall.
He sent it to the toilet as a punishment.
That makes more sense.
I think it was probably payback for the water park. I'm guessing. Yeah. So there's that, and then there was another time where you were asking me what was it? You were asking me about to empty the water out or something because you were trying to get rid of the smell from the sink, and I was like, I kept telling you, yes, I have. And you kept asking me, so I was like, right, I'm gonna punch you in the face. That was a clip.
David, stop the water.
Eh?
Stop the water.
The last thing you see before you die.
Man's not happy. Mate, it's still pissing out.
Like, whatever you were asking me to do, I had done it. So I was like,
Oh dear.
You like doing pranks, but you give no reaction.
yeah,
It's fine when you're fucking holding the camera.
yeah, but that prank isn't.
No, I'm not. I'm just like pranks in
it's just-
general. You give no reaction to a prank that's done to you, and you know that because every single prank is just like.
But isn't that the funniest part of doing the prank?
Yeah, but like you don't find
But
it funny.
I think
but
that's
it is.
I think what makes it funny is his stoic reaction to everything.
Yeah.
Of just, I hate you. I'm done with this.
This is not funny at all.
This is not my.
It's
This is
because-
not my role in the group.
It's
Fuck
because
you.
the lead up to it is always badly put together and filmed.
Nah.
It's like it's over something that
Doesn't even matter if it's
I
for
can't
fun.
even I can't even describe what that was now.
It's not one.
Like,
Yeah,
it's not like you took a bunch of cream and like pied me in the face.
No,
with
we've
it,
done
do you
that
know what
already.
I mean? I know you've done that with Win.
Yeah.
That's like a very visual thing that's good for the camera. Whereas the things that you do are just irritating. Like they're not. They're just irritating. It's like,
Do you know what's
come
irritating, right? About all of yous, right? Your ability to act on situations that are happening. Right? So if
is
we
this the
drive-
lack of common sense thing?
Well, this is common sense.
Because
right?
you do say this in one of the clips.
Right. So common sense isn't common and all that kind of stuff, right? But it's just the ability to act on things that are happening, so you just don't react to situations. If a bottle of milk just fell out the fridge and went all over the place, it takes about 10 seconds to register to go.
No, do you know what
There
it
was a
is?
bit.
No,
do you not
because
remember
we
when
all-
someone?
All that is we're all waiting for the one person.
There you go.
I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we're stubborn fucking bastards,
Exactly.
so it's not gonna be me.
There was actually a time where someone hadn't put their water
Save
bottle
the
away
milk.
properly, and we were going round those hairpins,
Oh, it
and
was
it nearly
mine.
fell on my head.
Yeah,
I wasn't very happy about that.
But yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing trip, really.
It was
it was
incredible.
It
One-
was
once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it was.
Literally.
If we had had more time, we would have given more time. But because, like, everyone has jobs to do, like we're not retired or anything like that.
I
you know,
almost
we're
lost
on a-
mine because I went on this trip, but it
I
was
know.
worth it.
Like 16 days was the absolute max that people could get. So we tried to do as much as we could in that time and do the challenge. We completed it. We completed our
Surprising.
goal. I think we got just about enough time in places. Just about enough time.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, with all it wasn't a perfectly smooth ride or anything like that, and yes, there was some aggression, certainly by the end of it. But looking back, I'd absolutely do it again now.
Oh, yeah,
instead of a show
100%.
now. But more importantly, it's documented. It's memories.
Yeah.
Something I can always look back on.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
No.
Did that. Fucking completed it, mate.
But we'll eventually all die, but before it is one.
So
Yeah.
you would do it.
I give it 2 years.
You would do a trip like that again.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but we got to spice it up a bit. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretend-
maybe like riskier places than they went.
So yeah, that basically concludes this second after show. Everything to do with the EU road trip. So
Man.
this is literally the end.
The end.
This
Thank
is the end
you.
of the journey. Thank you for
Thank you
everything.
so
Beautiful
much.
motherfuckers.
Oh,
Some reason,
yes.
for some reason, you watch this shit. I don't know why.
I just,
But
yeah,
thank you.
I do really want to say, seriously though, like, actually thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually got this far into this little podcast thing we're doing,
all the
First
six
of all,
that's
episodes
insane.
and this.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Second of all,
Full
what the
stop.
fuck's wrong with you?
But like,
Third of all,
seriously,
it's probably all of us that are actually on this part
It's
right now.
true. It's
So,
true.
I know. Yeah. Probably. That
it
is-
will have
That is true.
this many views.
There's a lot of ego on this couch.
Yeah.
I would love to do another one, but we do need the series to do slightly better than what it is currently doing at the time of recording this. So if you want to see another one in the future, please remember to do your bit, which is sharing, recommending to other people, because that's the time that we have to take out of our own. Like, we've already shared it with everyone in our friendship groups, basically. So in order to reach more people, we've got to spend money, we've got to spend time. So if you know
So
of
sharing
any groups,
So you're gonna
people that
start
would like
rapping,
it, it's basically a rap, because I'm trying to make it,
MC David.
I'm trying to sum it up
Say
quickly.
the whole
Skibidi
thing.
To just basically get
Share
people to share and recommend, because that is the best thing that you can do to help us,
Literally.
so that we
Or-
can try and make more like it.
Don't make me beg.
Let's throw a bit of a curveball here.
Oh
Right.
fuck.
So you
Oh,
can
there we
like,
go.
you can comment, you can share, and all that kind of stuff. If you can think of any ideas on how we can make our content even bigger and better, i.e. trying to get word about and all that kind of stuff, then feel free to leave in the comments.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
that's the brick wall right at the minute, I think.
Yeah.
So if you know ways, or if you know people or organisations or companies or anything like that, then just comment away, and we would really appreciate that, because that would help us
No
out more
suggestion
than, like-
too stupid.
Yeah.
We will do it all
We will.
if it gets the views.
So anyway, lads, it's been
Oh,
it's been
good
excellent.
The professional handshake.
Here's
This
to
is-
another 6 months.
This is the end of the road for Series 4, so we hope you've enjoyed it all, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next content that we do. Cheers.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank
See
you.
ya. Thank you.